reported back to his team, noting that the situation was indeed strange. Despite the elapsed time, there had been no signs of secret realm invasions on the mountain, and he decided it was best to go up and take a look himself. His team tried to object, but the captain insisted that it didn't matter if there was truly an unexpected situation. He probably wouldn't be able to escape it anyway. Dying at the foot of the mountain or at the top was just a matter of taking a few more steps. When the captain reached the secret realm, he was stunned to find the A-class wanted criminal, Gu Rong, known as the Blade of Embers, along with his subordinates, completely wiped out. The lady on his team expressed disbelief, noting that 4 adventure teams had been sacrificed in the hunt for Gu Rong, but they ended up like this. Another team member asked about the situation inside the secret realm. The captain replied that it seemed the secret realms had been sealed off by a massive ice storm, with not a single living monster inside. The man inquired about the boss of the secret realm, and the captain said he was going to check it out. He was shocked to see that the boss was also frozen and announced to his team that he was going to make sure it was dead because no one would have expected it to collapse with just one stab. His team asked if it was truly dead, and he replied that no items were dropped and no experience points were given, so it must be dead. The man questioned whether the day's secret realm invasion would still occur even with the boss dead, but the captain did not respond as he was busily poking the ice, trapping the demon lord with a stick to verify its death. Later, in Duan's villa, he asks Duan if he is still in the training room and tells him to come back and rest for a while. Duan, frustrated, tells him that he was stuck on the 45th level because his abilities were insufficient, and he was ashamed to have let him down. However, he smiles and reassures Duan that it is alright and that he should take a few days off. He also tells Duan that, previously, his main goal was for him to understand the situation of the trial secret realm. Next week, he will arrange special demon training for him. Duan, crying with happiness, responds that he is relieved to know he hasn't given up on him. He replies, "Of course not." Duan then asks what he wants to eat tonight, offering to order it right away. He walks away, singing in happiness. A moment later, while on his phone, he tells Duan that they should play some games during the break. Just then, he receives a message from Lao Feng. Feng asks if he wants to rank up and tells him to count him in, boasting that he is a professional at Tank Thief 6. He wonders if it is really Lao Feng and if Feng's account has been hacked. But Lao sends a voice message confirming it's really him and asks if they can duo up. He thinks that Feng may seem serious on the surface, but no one would have thought that Lao has such a gaming hobby. Feng is full of surprises in conversation. A moment later, they win the game, and he sends a voice message to Feng, expressing his surprise at Feng's gaming skills. Feng responds that he used to always play with his grandson, but now his grandson is busy preparing for college entrance exams, so he doesn't play much anymore. He adds that he and his grandson are still the same age. He tells Feng that next time, if they have a chance, they should trio up. To which Feng replies that it sounds perfect and is arranged. He knows that Lao Feng is an upright man and holds a high official status, making him think that if he establishes a good relationship with Feng, it could make things a lot easier for him in the future. Feng then changes the topic and tells him that 3 top universities are planning to organize a supernova training camp to select outstanding students. Those who perform well during the camp will be exempted from entrance exams and will receive generous resources for further development. Feng asks if he would like to participate in the camp because he has 2 slots available. Initially, he thought having a forbidden spell meant he didn't need to worry about going to college. However, he realizes that without any combat experience, he would be at a significant disadvantage if he had to face off against the so-called gods in the future. Excitedly, he replies to Feng that he'd like to go. Feng assures him that he'll keep both slots for him and mentions that if he knows someone who would like to join, they can apply together. He thanks Feng for the opportunity. Feng then looks at his grandson's picture on the table, telling him that Ning Feng and he have a lot in common and might even become good friends. The next day, in Kinyu City 7th Middle School, in Class 2, Grade 3 room, a student tells her friends that this year, not only the top universities but even regular ones have increased the requirements for combat majors. She mentions that many college students couldn't meet the assessment criteria for graduating and had to switch to non-combat majors. A boy points at Ning Feng, who is sleeping in the last corner of the room, and asks if being a 3-star awakened is no different from being a useless 1-star or 2-star awakened. The girl replies that it's hard to accept. The speaker in the room then makes a noise, signaling the start of class. Kaiwai announces that they have a new student joining their class and encourages everyone to extend a warm welcome and get along well with them. Everyone is in a daze, their mouths open, as they see the new student. Chang Mukyu shyly introduces herself to the class. Ning Feng is surprised, wondering if this is the same Mukyu who caused trouble in the secret realm last time. The students panic upon realizing that it is indeed Mukyu, the 4th ranked on the national supernova list. They question why Mewtwo, who was attending a top high school in a big city, would come to a small place like theirs. Mewtwo then asks Kai Y if she can sit next to Ningfeng, to which Kai Y hesitantly agrees. Mewtwo walks to the chair next to him, and Ningfeng notices his male classmate glaring at him in anger, wondering why all the beauties like Ningfeng. Ningfeng just looks at Mewtwo silently sitting next to him. Meanwhile, in the principal's office, Principal Zhang questions Principal Fang of Kinyu City 7 Middle School about the means he used to lure Chang Mewtwo away from their school. Fang tells Zhang to calm down and insists that he knows nothing about it. Principal Zhang retorts that Mewtwo not only left but also took away a spot in the training camp, and asks if Fang understands how that could affect their enrollment rate. Fang knows that this year's training camp only has 4 spots for the entire province, and 2 of them are secured by their school. Including Mewtwo would give them an extra spot. Fang realizes why Principal Zhang made the effort to come and question him. Things are starting to make sense. Suddenly, there is a knock on the door and Principal Fang asks the person outside to come in. The assistant reports to Fang that someone wants to see him and couldn't reach him on his phone. Principal Fang asks who it is and tells the assistant that he is in a meeting with Principal Zhang, so his phone is on silent. Both principals are shocked when the assistant responds that it is Lao Feng from the Adventure Management Bureau. They immediately meet Lao Feng, and Principal Feng shakes Feng's hand to welcome him. Both principals know that Lao Feng is a big shot, usually seen only on television. Feng then introduces his grandson Feng Rui, and Rui greets the principals. Principal Feng asks Feng how he can assist him, and Feng replies that there are 2 main matters he'd like to discuss. First, his grandson intends to transfer to their school to study, which shocks both principals. Principal Feng remembers that Rui is ranked 12th on the National Supernova list, and that his profession is that of a dark knight, the Bloodborne Knight. He heard that Rui was concerned about losing control over the power of darkness, so Rui held back his full strength. Otherwise, Rui might have easily made it into the top 5. Principal Zhang looks at Principal Fang, wondering why Lao Feng's grandson chose such an obscure school, and realizes that this means Principal Fang's school suddenly gained an extra spot because everyone on the National Supernova list has a spot in the training camp. Lao Feng then tells Principal Fang that the second matter is that their bureau has 2 spots in the training camp, and they intend to allocate them to students from his school. This amazes Principal Fang, while Principal Zhang wonders why they chose them when their province is lagging behind and there are only 3 or 4 spots in total. Principal Zhang questions what is so special about that school that attracts all of them. Principal Fang then teasingly apologizes to Zhang, saying that, as he can see, he is quite busy, so he won't keep him any longer. Principal Fang then orders his assistant to see Principal Zhang off. A moment later, Fang and Rui are seated inside the principal's office when Principal Fang asks Fang if he means those 2 spots are to be allocated to Ningfeng from Class 2 of Grade 3, and if Ningfeng can still go to the training camp since he remembers Ningfeng just awakened not long ago. Feng tells Principal Fang that it was the Bureau's arrangement, so he doesn't need to ask too many questions. Principal Fang agrees immediately, assuring Feng that they will fully cooperate. Principal Fang knows that the Adventurer Management Bureau is a specialized entity tasked with overseeing adventurers, operating independently from the 7 great guilds. With their considerable authority and Fang's influence, those who receive their support have boundless opportunities ahead, making Principal Fang wonder how Ningfeng got involved. Later, in Class 2, Grade 3 room, Ningfeng sits silently, confused, with Mewtwo at his side and Rui behind him. Wang Yu, Zhu Ting, and Zhu Jiangshu are also around him, prompting Ningfeng to ask how they ended up transferring to his class. Zhu Ting laughingly responds that they moved closer to the boss. She explains that the school reached out to Zhao Cheng, but he decided to pass, so the spot came to her. Being the boss he is, Ningfeng gave another spot to Jiangshu, meaning everyone representing the school at the training camp that year is right there. On his side are Mewtwo and Yu glaring at each other, while Jiangshu tells Rui that he has heard about him before. Rui laughingly responds that there is no need to be polite, and they should take care of him and everyone in the future. Mewtwo realizes that she is not the only one attracted to Ningfeng's influence, which could be troublesome for her. She thinks she needs to work twice as hard to earn the boss's respect. Mewtwo then blushes, remembering that she had prepared a gift for Ningfeng and decides to find an opportunity to give it to him. Meanwhile, their classmates stare at them, wondering why Ningfeng has such a good relationship with that group of supernovas. They think that even if they exclude Ningfeng, the lineup would still be quite impressive even among high schools nationwide. Ningfeng smiles, noticing that it suddenly got lively around him. He wonders what the deal is with Zhao Cheng abstaining and if anyone is paying attention to Zhao Cheng's disappearance. Meanwhile, in Zhao Cheng's home, a man sits silently on the couch when his assistant reports that there is still no news about their young master, Zhao Cheng, and asks if they shouldn't report it to the police. The man responds that he has already assigned a capable person to help with the investigation, and that there should be news soon, so they should wait a bit longer. He then asks his assistant how things are going at school. The assistant replies that he has requested an extended leave for Zhao Cheng, saying that Zhao Cheng needs to attend additional special training. The principal thought it was a shame to give up Zhao Cheng's spot in the training camp but didn't ask many questions. The man praises his secretary and tells him that he'll check on little Cheng's room, instructing not to disturb him unless it's important, which the secretary acknowledges. The man then walks upstairs and pushes open the door to Zhao Cheng's room. He walks inside and approaches the wall with Zhao Cheng's pictures. The man touches a scenic picture, causing the wall to split open, revealing another room behind it. He seriously walks inside and heads to the center where a stone with blood is situated. Meanwhile, at school, Rui takes out something and gives it to Ningfeng, telling him that the skill book is loot he got some time ago and that Ningfeng should take a look to see if it is useful for him. Ningfeng sees that it is a summon water elemental skill book, knowing that a summoner is an extremely rare profession and that skill books of this type are very valuable. Nuku then gives him a gift too, thinking that Rui was stealing the gift-giving spotlight. Ningfeng sees that it is a battle mage skill book, understanding that the battle mage is also an extremely rare profession, and books on such skills are equally rare. Ningfeng knows that he can't learn those two skill books for the time being. Before the start of the school year, he went to the second wild secret realm to level up but couldn't enter it. The system indicated that to enter the secret realm, he needed a team of 5 people to initiate the challenge. He thinks that because he didn't have enough information at the time, he ended up making a fruitless trip and couldn't unlock any new skill slots. However, those 2 skill books really pique his interest, and he knows he needs to win over more people as sources of information in the future. He thanks them for their kindness but tells them that he is afraid he doesn't have anything to offer in return. He then took out 2 items and gave them 40 bottles of high-level experience points. Nukyu remembered hearing that high-level bottles are an exclusive treasure of the Azure Guild, reserved for their elite members. Rui knows that these bottles are highly valued at the auction house and rarely available, yet Ningfeng just handed out 40 bottles like it was nothing, making both of them think that they must hold on to Ningfeng's favor very tightly. Yu then tells him that she has a gift for him too, prompting him to tell Yu that it is enough and asks her what the matter is. She tells him that Y made a new potion and asked her to give it to him. She then hands over the potion, and he is amazed to see it. Later, in Duan's villa, Duan greets him and remarks that he is back early today. He responds that all the students in the training camp can set their own schedules, and since there wasn't much happening at school, he left early. Duan recalls that he mentioned the demon's special training for him that week, but until today, there hasn't been any mention of it again, making Duan wonder if they had forgotten. But then he gives the potion to Duan, telling him that it is for him. Duan asks what it is, and he replies that it is a new potion made by Zhu Wei, named Revitalizing Elixir, and it can heal long-standing internal injuries. He then tells Duan that he should drink a bottle first and then start the demon's special training. Duan excitedly tells him that he really appreciates it and thanks him for going through the trouble, but he just replies that it was no trouble at all. Duan then drinks the potion. He then asks Duan how he is feeling, and Duan replies that he feels warm all over, and the places that used to feel uncomfortable are much more relaxed now. He smiles, knowing that it is truly an excellent potion because, last time, he was hit by a forbidden spell and was left with some hidden injuries, but after drinking 1 bottle, he almost fully recovered. He then tells Duan that next is the demon's training time and that he shouldn't be nervous and should just follow his instructions, to which Duan respectfully replies that he understands. He warns Duan that anytime he feels like he can't hold on, he should make sure to tell him right away. This surprises Duan, but he stares back with full confidence. Duan then stares into his eyes with sweat dripping down his face, and he activates his Sorrow of Abuse skill, which makes him see Duan's weaknesses. He notices that Duan's lung injury is recovering, making him wonder if it is the effect of the nourishing potion. He then tells Duan that he'll start by pointing out his weaknesses and then conduct targeted training, to which Duan agrees. He tells Duan that, first, the skill Primordial Force Overload isn't suitable for him because it causes damage to his lungs. Secondly, his skill combinations are incorrect. Hook Star Grasping the Moon and Falling Star Attack cannot be smoothly connected, yet it seems to be his habitual combo. He continues to point out everything to Duan, making Duan think that he is really sharp-eyed and can see through his problems at a glance. After pointing out Duan's weaknesses, he tells Duan that they should begin the special training, and Duan immediately dresses up in response. Duan positions himself when a sharp object rushes to attack him, but when he tries to counter, it appears behind him. When he looks back, it is too late, and the sharp object hits him in the stomach. Duan kneels on the ground, and he asks if Duan can still handle it. Duan responds that he can. He is glad to have those guinea pigs because he has become familiar with the usage of that skill, preventing any harm to Duan's consciousness. He thinks that although pain is inevitable, the results don't seem bad. Doon then stands up, thinking that in this world, he is probably the only one who can help him become stronger, so he won't let him down. Doon, full of confidence, then shouts for him to come again. Half a month later, in the training ground, a demon rushed to attack